That's me. My name is Hannah Barnes, and I was born on May 2nd, 1995. A few years later, my brother was born. I became used to living with a sibling, but in 2000 I got a whole new opportunity when my parents decided to adopt a yellow lab named Max. We didn't exactly start off well, because when I was laying on the ground the first day we got him, he decided to drag me across the yard by my ponytail. I didn't realize that those were just his puppy years, so he was a little wild. But eventually our relationship got better, and he quickly became my best friend. He would wait for me every day after school, and even though he often got into trouble in various ways, such as destroying my school projects, chewing up my favorite stuffed animal, killing our trees by ripping off the branches, and jumping onto the table and eating my popcorn, I enjoyed his companionship and I loved him. We had gotten very close throughout the years, even to the point where he let me use him as a pillow. Max had become someone who I could always count on, and he truly became another brother and a best friend. The years passed by, and as I was getting older, he was too. He could no longer play fetch for as long like he used to love to do. Senior year came along, and I was 17 and he was 12 and a half. He began to slow down and seemed to be getting a lot skinnier, even though he was eating his normal amount. My parents kept on talking about putting him down because he was so skinny and it was obvious that he wasn't feeling well anymore. Of course, we all loved him and we knew none of us would have the heart to put him down without a clear sign. March of my senior year came along and Max was still around. My family and I had just gone to our annual trip to the Minnesota High School hockey tournament, and we were just relaxing at home the day after, and Max began to start acting strange. He wouldn't sit still, and eventually started showing a lot of pain, which the vet said labs usually don't do. We decided it was time to take him in and see what was wrong. The vet told us that his stomach had twisted, which is what happened to Marley and me. As we looked at Max and saw the pain in his eyes, we realized that it was time to let the goofy big pawed dog that we had for 12 and a half years go. So we went into the dark, quiet room with Max, and they laid him onto a blanket on the floor. The vet quietly said, "Let us know when you're ready." We knew we would never really be ready, so we decided it was better to get it over with sooner than later. So the vet came back into the room and told us that the procedure would be quick and he wouldn't feel a thing. So as I held his soft ears and paws in my hand, I watched the vet slowly put red liquid into his IV. As tears were flowing down my face, the vet said, "He's gone." That was it. Someone who had been with me from before I started kindergarten to the end of my senior year was just suddenly gone. My family and I drove home, and as I walked into my house and saw his empty kennel, tears filled my eyes. I couldn't believe my best friend was really gone. Earlier, I watched Marley and Me and never truly understood the full story because I hadn't lived the last chapter. I realized the quote from the book, "A dog has no use for fancy cars, or big homes, or designer clothes." Status symbol means nothing to him. A waterlogged stick will do just fine. A dog doesn't care if you're rich or poor, educated or illiterate, clever or dull. Give him your heart and he will give you his, was really true. And even though some people would say he's just a dog, he changed my life and I miss him dearly.